All right, everybody, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the clerk will take the roll.
Van Birch.
Present.
Nicole Holt.
Present.
Brad West.
Yes.
Arvid Mackey.
Present.
Mark Peters.
Here.
Mike Stein.
Here.
And Neil has previously communicated that he would not be here this evening. The clerk will note we do have a quorum with 6 members present. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
I will move we approve the agenda.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 3 on the agenda is the consent agenda, including a regular meeting dated October 14th, special meeting on the 30th, licenses and permits, including Reese Elmer for Dick's Fresh Market and Light Up Osceola, all of the board, committee, commission, and agency reports from the past couple months, vouchers payable, and a budget summary. Anybody have any discussion, questions on issues?
The light up event is missing the map that's referenced.
You reached out to Brett to discuss that?
I didn't know anything about a map. I didn't
Okay.
see it in there.
I'm sure.
Every permit says that please attach a map or plans for your event land design. At a minimum, the following items should be included. Please place a check mark by those included. There's no map. So, and I'm going to bring this up again, but I don't know that, I think I've seen one in the last, I'll even guess a year that's been complete. And it's not that it's a huge deal, but one of these times we're going to get a major event where we're going to need it. So maybe I'll make my stand right now. Moving forward, I'm going to start rejecting them. Requests that we don't and send them back.
The other point, the last meeting we discussed making sure we talk economics at some point in every meeting. Should we pull the budget summary out? And
I have something.
you have something for us? All right. Never mind.
Thank you.
So how does this pass then? How does this get checked off? Because I see it's checked off by all the heads, department heads.
I feel like my guess is, and maybe we can let somebody else speak to it, but this is an event that's happened so many times, people get complacent and just to know that what's going to happen.
Right.
But maybe moving into 2026, we try to actually follow it's just like any other ordinance. Let's just follow what we've written down. Just ask people to turn it in, not the month it's due. So I'm gonna tie it into a conversation about the chamber and the bid later.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron and a second by Nicole to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no.
Hey,
Motion passes 5-1. Item 4 on the agenda is public input and ideas. Limit 5 minutes per speaker. If anybody wishes to address the board, now is the time. Please approach the dais to the podium. Give us your name and address. You'll have 5 minutes. Okay, I don't see anybody approaching, so we'll go ahead and move on from item 4 to item 5, staff reports. First up, utilities.
Hey everyone. I hope you're ready for the cold weather because it's kind of scaring us as we're trying to beat it. We were up on the high zone tower today. Am I getting feedback on this?
A little bit. Yep, we can turn it down a little here.
Can I turn it down from here?
I like the mic scared.
Move it away. Maybe if I move away. There we go. So we were up on the bluff tower or on the high zone tower today, ensuring the mixer, is still doing its job, mixing, trying to make it through the winter. We have that Verizon project that's still tentative. likely going to happen in the spring. Taking towers out of service in the winter to do any welding to them doesn't just really work that well. So that being said, we'll be, just ensuring that mixture is remaining operational to ensure that we're not icing up and things. So working through our large meter, or our meter replacements yet, stuff that's left over, just making sure everything's going to go smooth. As you guys know, we filed with the PSC to do a monthly billing. So we want to make sure that process is really smooth, because we're anticipating quite a lot of legwork on that on our end. We were approved for simplified rate case through the PSC. So that's been properly notified in the paper. We're going to have another notification come out in the fourth quarter newsletter. Tentative date on that is the first monthly billing. And so we're kind of rolling the dice on that, but we feel that that's going to be approved in December here. And so that rate will take effect from January 13th going forward. And that's a 3% increase on that utility rate. So working on drafting the 26 budget and the utilities, looking to bring that forward through committee here at our next committee meeting at the end of the month, which off cam I will be asking you guys to move. Thanksgiving is kind of a difficult holiday, so we'll talk later on that. Any questions on the report? All right, excellent. We'll keep it short.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, library.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi,
Yeah.
Ann.
So October was a really busy month working on the budget, gathering information about VoIP providers for the library and working toward changing those providers. And finally attending the Wisconsin Library Association Conference in Madison the last week in October, where I was able to gather with all the other Wisconsin librarians and learning of all the shared experiences that we have from one side of the state to the other. In October, we circulated over 3,600 items. We had 183 computer uses. We had 1,636 ebook checkouts, and we had 24 new patrons. As I've started ordering books from Ingram Content Group, the number of new items added to the collection in October is back up to a healthy number of 229 items. We continue to provide our community with a variety of activities and events at the library during October. Our regular programming continued with story time, Lego and chess clubs, tech help, lunch with the librarian, Fiber Friends, and the WMPL book discussion. In addition to our regular programs, we held a Schools Out event with a slime making activity and Halloween shows on the background. And we had the always popular Adult Creators Club, where they made pumpkins with pattern image transfers. And then Michelle brought a not too spooky story time to the Wild Rivers Conservancy's Halloween event. And to wrap up the month, the library participated in the Main Street Trick or Treat event on Halloween. Most of the staff attended the library system-sponsored Staffapalooza event held on October 22nd at Camp Wapo. The keynote speaker for the event was Beth Waller, who spoke on sustainable practice, self and community care strategies for library staff. And then their afternoon was spent at a variety of breakout sessions. I then was able to attend the IFLS Directors Retreat on Friday of that week at the Beaver Creek Reserve outside of Fall Creek. And the same speakers spoke to us, but our topic was trauma-informed library management, practical strategies for creating a healthy organizational culture. And I greatly appreciated the library board's support in allowing the staff and myself to attend these events, and their willingness, along with members of the Friends of the Library, to help cover for library staff when they would have otherwise been alone at the library while they were at their training. So any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't remember if this was resolved or not, but the drive-up window,
Mhm.
There's been a problem with it being really cold. Was anything addressed on that, or?
I don't think so. I mean, we aren't staffing that room. And so, it might be cold, but it's not like it's freezing things out
Okay, so
there.
it's
Yeah.
not an issue, because I know sometimes they've had space heaters and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff trying
no.
to stay warm and that.
That should be fine.
All right, thanks.
Yep. Anything else?
And you had mentioned voice over IP services. Did you select a vendor yet?
Yeah, so we're going with Evergreen Tel.
You are? Okay.
And they're currently working on that. We're getting pushback from Easy IT guys, who are our current providers with giving the information that we need to make that switch. So I may ask Devin to step in and maybe push.
I
a
have
little bit of
contacts
that.
with both companies.
Okay.
I'll help you out. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, I do have one more, sorry. Fiber Friends, what is that?
So it is not about bran muffins and prunes. It's, people are welcome to bring whatever fiber-related art they're working on, be it crocheting or knitting or embroidery or cross stitch, and then they come and hang out together and knit and talk, and we talk books and we talk, projects.
Got it, okay,
Fun.
thank you.
Yeah.
Got it now.
Okay, next up, fire.
Howdy, everybody.
Hey, Paul.
Busy month last month, 17 runs total, 13 of them were in the village of Osceola, 3 in the town of Farmington, and 1 mutual aid with Dresser. Run breakdown was 10 medical lift assists, 1 motor vehicle accident, 2 debris grass fires, 2 smell of gas, 1 alarm, and 1 vehicle fire. Training for October, we did natural gas, a training with the natural gas distribution person from Wisconsin Gas. And we did a walkthrough on our, at the factory up at MPP. Upcoming trainings in November will be makeup ones for the guys that have happened to miss one of our 12 points that we have to cover. And then also we're going to be doing winter pump training. So just getting up to date with closing valves and opening valves and making sure pumps are dry when I get out the door and the whole 9 yards. So any questions?
Was the 2 hangars, are they in compliance now at the
Yes.
airport?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's in compliance up there.
All right, thanks.
How's your building holding up? You got all the, how's your building holding up? I know you had, thinking back to like 8 months ago, you had a couple of roof issues and some other things. Is everything
Yeah,
taken
we
care of
got
up
the
there?
roof issues with the new roof on and everything is good. So,
So you got any major budget issues next year?
no, we're trying to work. If I'd have money left over, I would try to replace the furnace with and an air conditioning unit.
Minor stuff though?
Yeah, it's just minor stuff. I mean, so otherwise, no, we're good.
That's good to hear.
So,
I just wanted to go back to what Van asked about the hangars. I remember when you first started doing that and what a pain that was
mhm.
and how you streamlined the process over the years. So good job on that.
Yeah.
To you mainly, but
Yeah.
everybody else who's helped out because it's every year it seems to go better and better. So
Yeah, it really works out well now. We do all the hangar inspections and they know it's coming. They know they have to get inspected. So
Yep. it was a good job.
Yeah.
just keeps everybody up on, and it helps us too as far as firefighting, knowing what's in the hangars and how many planes and the whole 9 yards.
Agreed.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Paul. Next up, police.
Hello.
And,
Hey, Jay.
All right, so October, we had a busy month. We generated 638 calls for service, filed 68 incident reports and 3 traffic crash reports. Our officers made 5 arrests and submitted 2 criminal referrals. We initiated 154 traffic stops, issued 39 citations. A police administrative assistant processed 10 requests for records and background checks. Asuro Tremblay responded to 5 school-related incidents to October. Some of the types of incidents we dealt with included a counterfeit currency case where a suspect was arrested for uttering and felony bond violation. We had 3 OWI-related arrests in October. We took several identity theft and fraud complaints, which we're sorting through and investigating. Our officers responded to a stalking incident where a criminal referral was made. And our officers responded to multiple calls to assist other agencies. And we were among the first to respond to the unfortunate ATV accident in East Farmington last month. I'm happy to report, as far as administration goes, we hired Officer Aaron Valine, filling our final vacancy with our full-time staff. So he graduated from the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Academy at Northwood Tech, same spot with McCade and Dalton. Yeah, he was actually in Dalton's class. He has ties to the Osceola area and has started his field training with our department.
We're hoping that we'll get him on his own and we'll be able to provide as best we can 24-hour coverage to the village again. So on that note, we also took a receipt of a dart training machine from a program offered by our insurance company. What's nice about this is that if you guys are familiar with the Milo machines, it projects in a video out onto the wall, and the officers can react to the person in the video, use different levels of force, and just kind of puts a little bit more realism into it versus just kind of walking through a scenario if you're just talking to them. So we haven't used it yet, but we're hoping to get that set up once things shake out and calm down, and implement it with our field training as well as our in-house officers. Mr. Tremblay also gave multiple presentations to our students in October. He talked to a middle school class about careers in law enforcement, gave that class a tour of the police department, and he put on a safe trick-or-treating event to our students at the intermediate school. Several of our officers also attended a Stop the Bleed training with the Osceola Area Ambulance. This type of training is pretty essential if we respond to traffic crash or gunshot wound, something like that. It keeps our skills sharp in case they're ever needed. We had several officers out for Halloween night. Happy to report that went well with no serious incidents. And I'm sure most of you noticed we had seemed like a pretty big uptick in trick-or-treaters this year. So just glad that we were able to put some officers out there and get some visibility. Lastly, just want to announce that we're bringing back Coffee with a Cop. That's going to be starting up at Caribou Coffee on November 21st. And we're looking to do it again on December 19th this year. And then next year, we're hoping to have someone down there last 2 Fridays of each month. Runs from 8:30 to 10 and is open to anyone that would like to meet our officers and sit down and have coffee with them. So
Always a good time.
it is. Any questions?
Looks like the SRO program is really starting to become a deep asset to the community.
Yeah, Matt's really making some waves over there
Yeah.
with the kids. Seems like he was out trick or treating, doing patrol and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
it seemed like all the kids recognized him and were giving him a good time. So
yeah. I think it's probably gonna end up saving some lives.
I hope so. It's off to a pretty good start in my opinion. So.
Yep, I think so too.
Well, on behalf of the board and the village, I just want to acknowledge you for the work you've done to get the staffing back to full strength again.
Thank you.
We're probably one of the only municipalities around here right now that is fully staffed in their police department. So well done.
I appreciate it.
Very well done.
Gotta keep moving in the right direction.
So AJ, I asked about it a few months ago and I kind of left it because I don't know where it was going to go, but was there anything we could look at for the speed limit around Simmon Drive and around the airport? I know some of it's East Farmington.
I suppose we can take a look at it, although
The school buses don't drive 25 through there.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about enforcing that?
I honestly, I've tried to drive 25 through there.
Mhm.
It's really hard.
Yeah, something we could look at, although a consideration would be a lot of those street signs would need to get replaced.
No, I get it. It's just like years ago when everybody was complaining about trying to drive 25 up the hill going to Quick Trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's darn near impossible there, and it's the same way around Simmon. It's really hard to drive 25, and I know that when it boils down to is on occasion there's an officer that sits there and runs radar,
Sure.
but then in the morning I know the buses leave there and don't drive 25.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those inconsistent things where if we could look at it and if the road's big enough, it seems like 35 is prudent.
Sure. Yeah, well, I can take
A
a look
to-do
at it
list for next year.
when I get a lull in our
Right.
day-to-day, so.
Not looking for an answer, just making a suggestion.
Sure.
What's that song? I can't drive 25.
Yeah,
I can't drive 25.
I can't. It's really hard. Leave the foot off the gas pedal.
There you go.
Let it idle down the street.
It could be like the Autobahn or something, just
There you
drive
go.
what you want.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
But maybe like 35 up that hill. That would be nice. You made any progress on like the request for records and any sort of system that could maybe help with that? I know we talked about it previously and
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood, we've been pretty lucky the last couple months with requests. I know Jen's been on top of it and it seems like she's always working on something, but I feel like we're getting them out in a timely manner. But if we get a big influx, that's always the problem because at that point we gotta, review and redact, process them as best we can. I'm hoping that next year, depending on where we're at with the CIP, I'm looking to switch over to Axon for our body cameras. And in that program has video redaction software built into it, which I'm told is probably the best in the industry. However, I know Jen has also started attending some localized meetings with other police admin assistants and kind of getting their take on how they process records. If they have any tips and whatnot, but it's been steady, but it's been manageable the last couple months. So
want to be ready for
yeah,
when there's an uptick because it will happen at some point, I'm sure,
undoubtedly. Yeah. So like I said, I'm hoping that if we switch to Axon, that'll lighten the burden a little bit more on our department. So
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
AJ. Next up, Public Works.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Todd.
Happy Veterans Day, man.
Thank you. And the same to you.
A little bit of a shorter update, focused. A little bit short-staffed October to November here with 2 full-time members. But nonetheless, we stayed very busy. This time of year is crazy because everybody either wants to put something in the ground or from the ground and go up. So been facilitating a lot of right-of-way permits, making things happen, like out on Prospect Way with developments, hospital, things like that. So a lot of oversight, and then especially as we move into the winter season, want to make sure our roads get put back into place, or at least in a temporary place where we can still manage them all winter long. A lot of street sweeping continued through the month of October and November here. In October, it was 60 yards of leaves alone, equivalent to roughly 20 dump trucks. So, you might have seen us if you're out and about. We spent a tremendous amount of time in Cascade installing 20,000 pounds of hot asphalt where our curbs meet the kind of the parking area outside of the drive lanes. So got that all fixed up and ready to go for the winter as well and beyond. A lot of focus on developments and making sure that you're getting a lot of great things for everyone. Also meeting with WISDOT to discuss 2029 and 2032 projects. They got some major project coming up right after the bridge is kind of opening. We're doing some work from the south to 243 and then 2032, which is going to be more of an impact to us because we have a lot of infrastructure, I guess I should say, outside of the lanes. So we'll be preparing from a CIP standpoint for 2032. Met with WISDOT again and engineering through the bridge. I think they're at like 95% completion. We're looking at lighting, the path, trails, impacts, and beyond. So that's coming along nicely, and I think it's really going to be something when we reopen. Chipped resident brush curbside in October and retrieved an estimated 400 bags during our first week. We just wrapped up last week. Last Friday was our final week. Estimated numbers somewhere right around 1,100 bags we picked up. So parks, final mowings. We're finally all caught up. Got a little frost, maybe a little snow on the ground. So we made that transition to winter operations. We got those things put away for the season. As far as, it's closed, everything's sort of been winterized, public, facilities and buildings have been moved into a cold weather status, so we're still monitoring either daily or, multiple times weekly, make sure the heat's on, make sure things are buttoned up, and, they're still good while they either are closed for the season or on a sort of temporary open status. Any questions?
Yeah, I just got one. That sweeper, that has a vacuum attachment.
Does. I was able to help out the airport actually this week, or I'm sorry, last week. Getting mixed up. They have this fine granular that came off of, they had a, like a micro surfacing done in their landing area where the
Oh,
planes
yeah.
park essentially. For micro surfacing, they used a real fine sand, not even from the area, but from the Midwest. It started to, sort of come off, the oil, and it's just leaving large piles being sucked up in the planes. We were able
Yeah.
to take that thing up there and get it all up off the ground. So,
Not good for jet engines, I can tell you that.
no, they're not.
So, how does this attachment, is it like you have an arm on it then too, and then you can come out or what?
Yeah, so we do have a tubular arm, and which made this an even better deal than what it was, is to have this addition of being able to. So, for instance, Oki Park, you're looking at roughly 8 dump truck loads of mulch leaves that we're able to consolidate, pile them up instead of spending a tremendous. I mean, we cut our time down by 75%. We're able to snatch them up, grind them up, pile them up, and then suck them up right into the
That's nice.
street sweeper. Yeah, that's
That's a
good.
real nice deal.
Can you elaborate on you mentioned the working with the bridge project and some trails and stuff?
Yeah.
But dig in a little deeper for me on that.
Yeah, so pedestrian access, where the pedestrian access ends at the bridge, and then bringing it up into the village of Osceola. It's gonna come to the east, and then of course north, and just kind of lead right into our downtown, right into Gristmill Park, our our multi-million, our $1 million project in Cascade
So it's still
Falls.
following 243 up the side there?
Correct, yeah, it'll be on the north side.
Okay. Is it still part of that project though?
As far as I know,
Yeah,
everything
it's
looks
gonna
like,
be-
yeah.
It's gonna be part of the whole road and bridge project.
Some of the things we're looking at, Minnesota side is not and hasn't, you see very limited lighting. Of course, there's limited lighting in regards to being within the national park system and a federal waterway. But you notice that we have a couple now on our side, on that north side of the road. That's sort of like the road we're going to look at sort of like,
We have 2, right?
yeah, 2 total right now. We're going to work with Excel Energy. We're going to see, get a couple more in now that we're going to have this pedestrian access, kind of light the way into the village of Osceola.
So is that Excel's going to put that in as street lighting or are we putting in it or what?
It's going to be a combination, still working.
I don't
with
want
the
to see
engineer.
what we did on Third Avenue happen again.
No, I hope
Okay.
we don't see anything of the sort.
Not to be abrupt, but
No, I'm glad it wasn't here for that.
yeah, me too.
We got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as somebody that's got some engineering capacity is involved in that, because it both from a traffic and pedestrian and environmental standpoint, it have it look decent.
Nope, absolutely understand.
But the welcome to Osceola sign has to be moved, I would assume, right?
Nope, it's gonna
Or is
be,
that-
they said it's gonna be completely where it's at right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
asked that question this morning.
Yeah.
doesn't mean there might be some light design work around it.
Yeah.
But looks like it's going to
It
stay.
was like about 5 feet from the path.
Oh, that ain't bad. Good deal.
Any other questions?
Are these your photos or is that,
They're mine.
you want to?
Oh, the Cascade Falls project, yeah, you can
Oh, yeah, we can touch on that. Even what you see right now, there's been a tremendous amount of work. I was just down there yesterday again. You see a retaining wall, a lot more concrete poured. You're getting a real sort of visual with the concrete and dirt work that are existing right now, where it's what direction it's going. So some tremendous progress in the last 2 weeks. Looks really good.
Maybe I'm gonna jump the gun. Do you have an update on from Pember, or do we talk about
No,
it
our
now?
meeting is our meeting tomorrow or next Wednesday? Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
So they haven't had a chance to respond to our,
Oh, they
Counter to their-
accepted the terms of that.
okay.
In terms of status update, we do monthly,
Sure.
mid-month updates.
Still set to finish this winter, springish.
Yeah, whenever they're, yeah, should be.
I don't remember the date. It was before, all that I cared about was that it was before they got used it again in the
Memorial
spring.
Day, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They've made great progress since the last board meeting.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Okay, next up, building inspection.
That's a boring report for you guys this month. No new homes, a few fences, some alterations. Next month, we're waiting to approve the building permits for the D&K commercial and the Werzer building. So there'll be some larger building permits for the next report, hopefully. Any questions on that one?
And admin?
Admin report. Last week, we met with the DNR and Gun Development and Gustafson Excavating, who's doing the demo of the building. All information was approved for the demo commingled abatement permit. So they're allowed to do the commingled abatement for the hospital site. Yesterday, there was an email between the DNR and Gustafson regarding the runoff of the possible asbestos and what's going to be done with that. And that was a separate permit in itself. So I have not had a chance to talk to Dan today. I will get an update tomorrow from Dan to see where they're at and when they're planning to break ground. Last week at that meeting, it sounded like there should be dirt work this week on that project. Anything you want to add to that, Mike or Brad, on that?
I actually thought the DNR was going a little overboard.
That's
The-
been the challenge.
Yeah, their lack of understanding what they were gonna do with that basement concrete was kind of funny.
It was extremely funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Still disappointed that Gon didn't get the permit in sooner. Again, I think we gave him plenty of time, so.
That was the battle we've been fighting for a month with the DNR on that one.
We wouldn't have fought it the last month had they done it last spring.
Impact 7 workforce rate housing project. We had a public meeting. That's for information before last week's planning commission meeting. It was well attended. There was probably about 20 people. I would say about 20 people here to find out what the Impact 7 project is going to be. They just sent me today the pictures of what the 2-story buildings look like, so I'll forward those to the board today.
is that the
tomorrow.
neighboring community that I asked for?
Yep.
Okay, good.
So I just got those this afternoon, so I'll forward them to the board tomorrow. They are taking the notes that was given on the concept for the planning commission, so we could see probably another concept what it might look like. But the feedback was well appreciated, and I actually got some emails from the public that attended the meeting saying this is not at all what they were expecting, and was really happy with the product that they were shown. So it was nice to hear some positive feedback for a project that is desperately needed in the community. Worker rate housing is very important, especially when it is income driven and it's not subsidized by the government. So
Yeah, and I think it's important to make that distinction because I think that there's a lot of negative publicity surrounding government-funded housing. That's not what this is. And I think it's important to make sure that we continue to have that conversation around making that distinction whenever the topic comes up. So,
I had a meeting with Terry Hauer. I want to say he's very excited about everything that's going on in Osceola. We probably have some of the most projects going on within the whole county kind of combined. So we have a lot of fun projects going on in terms of development, both residential and commercial. So he was really excited to see all the hard work that staff and everyone's put in for these developments. With that does come some challenges too with site plans and the ability to get things done in a timely manner. There's going to be another public meeting on Thursday at 7:00. We will post this as a possible quorum of the board. So board members, if you have time on Thursday, please stop by and listen because I'm gonna have to send you information and there's gonna have to the decision be made by the board about stormwater utility coming up here. So it's information that'd be good for everyone to learn about why we're starting the stormwater utility and then what items we're still looking to finish up before we add that to our monthly bill in 2026. We've been working with SEH on our water main replacement projects and stormwater projects for the site plan reviews. A lot of information is going into that. And also with that, we have
design work for the movement of Ridge Road and then the reconstruction of River Street. So there's a lot of work going on with SEH and staff to finalize those projects. Pember is continuing to cruise along on Cascade Falls that we just talked about. Here's the budget aspect, Arvid, you're looking for. The 2026 budget, we basically were given direction to finalize it, and the public hearing is going to be the 20th for the board to approve the final budget. Right now for 2025, we are at 78% at the end of October, we were at 78% of our budget. So we're looking to come in under budget this year for 2025, which to the testament of staff is very important to that. We're making sure that the taxpayer dollars are being used in a timely, efficient, and economical manner. So good job to the staff to making sure that we're using the funds to the best that we can and still providing the services that are expected of everyone. I had the labor negotiation with the Teamsters. With the budget update too. I got for 2026 feedback on a grant application. They want me to change a few things for possible award for the IT grant. So I should hear here the next week or two on whether or not we were awarded the IT grant for 26 and 27. So
40 or 50,000?
100K.
50-50 split though. Right.
So we're hoping to hear on that one soon. Staff is working with Win Technologies on our IT transition. They have to off and onboard all the computers, so that's taking some time for Bitworks to get all their IT items off our computers and Win to get all their items on our computers. They were on site last week. I know they helped the police a little bit, right, AJ? So it's nice to have. They're a bigger operation than Bitworks, so they have more staff and more people in certain areas to help what we can achieve in that. Carrie and Tanya went to, well, the rest of your election staff, right? Or just you two?
And 2 chief inspectors.
Went to Badger Book training last week. The Badger Books came in. This is going to get rid of the paper register. So now we have like these iPad type machines that sit in front and they can scan your card, and the check-in process is going to go much smoother and much quicker for elections next spring. So I know Carrie is really excited about that.
No Post-it note with a colored dot anymore?
Oh, come on.
Wow. It's been 22 years I've been getting a Post-it note with a colored dot with a number on it.
I'm glad we were able to get that. I know my last community we got those and we love them. So I'm very excited that we finally have them
Oh,
here.
We
progress.
still have, are there like people monitoring those or just in case they need help or, stuff like that?
Yeah, the voter doesn't do them. There's a person that helps each voter.
Okay,
It just speeds it up so people aren't paging through the books. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Todd touched on his public safety work. I also want to thank welcome Aaron Valine on board. Are we doing a swearing process for him in December?
Looking into it, yeah.
Okay. And other than that, I do want to thank the community for all the engagement items that we've been doing all summer long and this fall. It's been nice to see the amount of people showing up to our public meetings regarding information, whether it be for the River Street, the park, last week's thing on Impact 7. It's been nice to hear the input from the residents on those items. Any other questions?
Nice report.
Yeah, it's really good.
One thing I don't remember seeing is I know that we're anticipating that new tower to go up probably in the spring for the cell phone. Do we have any funds budgeted in the CIP for a storm siren or anything like that? I know it was on there a long time ago.
I don't know off the top of my head on that
Yeah,
one.
I don't remember seeing it.
The building permit is getting approved this month too for that. So they should be breaking ground shortly on that.
I put it on there, it's proposed.
Okay.
The storm siren.
Perfect.
Elaborate on what you just said
They applied for a building permit for the
tower.
For the pad, I think.
So it means they're going to get this fall.
I don't know on that.
And maybe it isn't probably pertinent to this one, but moving forward on all of our projects, because I'm actually thinking about something that we agreed to do and then didn't provide a timeline. I think we got to start writing timelines into a lot of this stuff so that there's expectations on when stuff's going to get done. Like this one, we sold some land earlier this year with the context that somebody was going to build something on it, and nothing's happened. So, yeah, the bowling alley's garbage thing.
Oh, that one's still being finalized.
Okay.
Hasn't transferred hands yet.
What was
Maybe
that?
all these we agreed to sell.
That little strip of
That
land next
strip of land,
to,
that was
Okay.
just 2 months.
The
2 months
lanes.
ago we agreed to
Yeah.
sell that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
no, it hasn't closed yet.
Really?
well, so here's my point on it. One of the contingencies we had is that we would sell it to him if he would take a piece of it and then build a spot for the garbage. The point is that Todd wanted the garbage out of the way to do snow plowing,
Yep.
and now here we are snow plowing,
Yep.
and nothing's moved. So we've got a handful of projects, including Pember, that we don't have schedules on.
Yeah.
Moving into this water main thing.
Yep.
And, you know, Todd's gonna be dealing with a fence that now is in the way for plowing. And I asked him last month about how to manage that. Like, we have these things that just keep dragging on.
Yeah.
I think just as we move forward into next year, we start assigning reasonable schedules to
There's a
stuff.
big outdoor TV there, though.
Yeah, he's been mowing it though too, so we could argue rent versus mowing. I don't wanna get into that.
So
My point is
how are we gonna address that, though?
I wanna
mean,
see
you got
schedules and
something
stuff.
there, But we need to do that to deal with his problem.
well,
We all know
Well, for that,
schedules-
we can't really do
schedules
anything
are only
until
good
it's
as the
actually
people who provide them.
transferred.
Pember provided our schedule for that
I know,
project.
you can work both sides of it and then just hold people to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have a carte blanche answer to it, but we've went into a lot of stuff in the last year without schedules. And then stuff just keeps dragging,
Yeah, that's true.
so. Otherwise, still, again, good report.
Anybody else have any questions on the admin report? Okay, thanks. All right, we'll move on. We have an NA next to Chamber of Commerce Main Street. Did you have comments on that, Mike?
Yeah, I have a comment on it. This is going on like 6, 8 months of not having a report from that department. And I've had some businesses comment about a lot of upcoming impact of road projects and things and looking for, I saw a survey come out. I don't know what this bid and chamber's doing. There's a budget line item, I think. But we've been on multiple months without reports. I'm wondering what the value of that is.
Well, bid separate, so that wouldn't be part of Chamber of Commerce Main Street.
Okay. Whatever the case is, I'd like to ask the question of what they're doing. They don't come to the meetings. So. And we write it out of the budget if we don't need it.
Is there room tax involved in something like that?
That's the Tourism Commission.
No, we've been giving the $7,500 a year to the chamber, which is now Explore.
Now
Yeah,
what?
Explore Osceola.
Yes.
Yeah, so the village is giving $7,500 a year to that organization.
We also heard, I put together a presentation, was it a couple months ago too, for the
Grow.
grow? Yeah.
So the chamber, it's no longer the chamber, so do we need to relabel this then too?
Have they officially launched the Explore? That's been because I don't think they've had an official board meeting either.
And we haven't had a report, so.
Okay,
When do we pay that? You said it was like $7,500.
Usually at the beginning of the year, we get the invoice.
okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna say we sit on it until we see some action out
Sure,
of them next
I
year.
agree.
I think
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
would agree.
Can we get him in for December's meeting?
I can send an email.
Great.
Tell them there's $7,500.
The
tied
meeting
to it.
will,
Yeah, I would hope so.
the meeting will occur before we approve the budget, so that's good.
There you go.
Our meeting's on the
20th.
Oh, the budget hearing is on the 20th? Okay, let's not forget that line item.
Yeah.
Okay. Our village emails are all available. Any more discussion on this NA part? Not applicable. All right. We move to item 6 on the agenda, other business and discussion and possible action regarding 6A, snow removal contract for the municipal building.
Hello again. I initially presented this RFQ in as early as September with no results. Reached farther and wider, 3 counties and locally again. We got 3 submissions. One being Redline, who did the work here last year, and then 2 new ones. Spoke verbally with both contractors, asked them if they had any questions, if they wanted to potentially physically meet on the site, if they wanted any potential direction, answer any of their questions. Was able to do it verbally over the phone. So at this time, would recommend Coos Contracting. They came in at the lowest, vetted them. They take care of another small municipality to the southeast of us. Seems ready to perform, and seems like a good communicator. So I think we'll see some cost savings in the way of snow removal of the building. He's very much aware that we're open for business at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, and recognizes the contract and the expectations of being on call 24/7 in case if there's a snowstorm on, and even a meeting night like tonight, and we have to potentially for meetings. So
What other municipality are they doing?
it's Star Prairie.
Okay. Where are they based out of?
I'm trying to remember. Envision's out of Luck. I think Coos is out of somewhere around somewhere between East Farmington and Richmond area, southeast.
Looking for a motion?
To approve, yep. It'd be Coos that you're recommending, yes?
Yes, please, Coos Contracting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the snow removal contract with Coos Contracting for this winter.
Thank you, Arvid. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Van. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 6B, Parks and Trails logo. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, so I've been working very hard with the rebranding of the group itself and becoming the Parks and Trails and Parks group. We want to make sure we start with trails because they're very important to them, but so are the parks now as well, and have been for like the last year or better. Been working with Jared Cotts, Tyler Norenberg. There's a lot, and they're super committed. I don't know if anybody was able to get to Brewfest and things like that, but they're raising money, and they're finally coming to the point where they're very well organized. They're willing to start bringing this funding, this fundraising to help us and make our projects go farther. Thanks to our decision, like with the signage in our CIP, $5,000 a year, park signage, wayfind signage. They're going to meet us, in those areas too. One of the things they did was they came up with a great logo. They wanted something that sort of spoke to our open spaces in the village of Osceola, 160 plus acres, over 13 parks, 37 public spaces, some vast 80 acres, and we have a great place. And they wanted something that sort of highlighted, and so did I. If you kind of looked around, you've seen some of our old signage that kind of hangs in certain areas off of Hill Street, off of Eric Drive, or Madison or Marvin. I think this is the right direction for our parks department. Something like this, a simple logo, and street side, noting where these places can be found. And like I mentioned in the report, this is only sort of the first step in mapping and starting to connect all these things, our parks together. So what they proposed was really all three. As you can see, there's different color palettes. Some of these things color-wise might change. If you're on a potential trail, we're going to have some great trail markers made for our switchbacks down the side of up on Picnic Park or Bluff Park. You might see a red circle around this, just denoting that, hey, you're hitting a harder trail. You'll see green in some other spaces. But then you're also going to see it probably adorn like the top of some of our street signs, like I mentioned, just noting there's a park here. And in the future, we look forward to even having something as great as the signage when you can walk up with your phone and QR code it, and it'll tell you everything that's even available at the park. So.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that they did front the bill for this. So at this point in time, we've been working on it for a number of months now, and they footed the bill for the entire thing at this time. So approximately $1,500 for the design.
Yeah, I really like it. It looks good. It's nice and clean. It's presentable to the eye. I mean, and it's a good identification of what that particular mission is.
Considering this is gonna get used across town, does it have to go in front of any other committees like the Heritage or the Historical or Art Committee that we're about to form maybe, or anything?
Even if it's in the downtown
Heritage.
area?
The downtown area would be only if we're plastering like a mural of it or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
And be unaffected. I mean, you'll see something like this probably in Grist Mill, Mill Pond Park, things like that. I mean,
yeah,
Okay.
and the
Isn't there
historic district.
Isn't there some other signage up this direction a little bit more too?
You talk about the red, like the reddish one that says on the River St. Croix, those ones?
Well, I thought there was some other signage up on the north side of the downtown that was starting to tie in some of the other stuff.
that's one of the big things is we don't really have anything that identifies. I mean, you could just see some old stuff that's been around for.
Well,
50
yeah,
years.
it seems like every 5 years we go through a rendition of we're gonna do signage, and then there's a little bit of rework, but never a complete revamp. Is their intent to just use this on trails only? Or are we gonna use this everywhere now?
Just trails and parks.
Just in our trails and park spaces at this time.
We won't be losing our Osceola logo that you see on top of these memos, the board reports, and those kind of things. We'd still be using that.
Would they,
For village items, we'd be using that logo.
Yeah, village stuff, but I'm just trying to think of all the other signs that are around town.
We don't have much. I mean, obviously our wayfinding signs, which only highlight things,
Like the art.
on Cascade and like County Road M. But these are going to be park driven. So when you're driving up M, you have Eric Park kind of tucked in the back with a tennis court and basketball courts and all that. On top of like where you'll see Marvin and, or you'll see Seminole and Marvin. On top of that, you're going to see almost a similar matching street sign that just says Eric Park along with this emblem next to it. This design.
You're also thinking of some of the signs that were created quite a few years ago, like the art barn sign, the round sign. Remember that? Some of those.
Yeah, I'm actually on Google Maps right now because I remember there's one
Yeah.
coming in from the north end of town.
The only thing is if this winds up in the historic district, some of these colors, there's too many colors. Unfortunately, I hate to. So they'd have to redo that. But I'm all for trying to get this going.
Yeah, we currently have $10,000 in our CIP set aside from our 24-25 borrow. So we'd be very much looking forward in creating some excellent signage at each of our parks, kind of listing some of our rules, village code, just simple things. Don't want to overdo it, keep them clean, and then also provide a potential trail map and distances that you might be walking and things like that.
Yeah.
would they be picking through these three, or are they going, or is it one that they're gonna go with, or how is that working?
Kind of be a conglomeration of all three, and you might see things change, like near the downtown, you might see a color palette of this nature. You might get some else, like I mentioned, up on a trail. You might see a slightly different color palette depending on the park or the location. Some of these things they see as potential decals on cars, things that they can potentially fundraise off of and things like that. You'll see it on maps, brochures, things like that.
So I'm going to talk specifics for a second. So south of County Road S, but before you get to the entrance to the schools, there's a sign out there that says Art Barn, Shellberg Park, and Brookside Trail. Is that one of the signs that would get reworked to match this logo?
That is not. So the current wayfinding signage situation, while like you mentioned earlier, there's been some changes between the Main Street Chamber. Things have gone relatively silent. At $10,000, as we discussed at the Public Works Committee side of things about a year ago, we were really looking forward to the potential of getting those signs redone. That was at the time, a Chamber of Commerce sort of spearheaded idea, a logo, a brand, whatever you might want to call it. So at this time, the wayfinding signs, this logo would not be a part of it this time.
So we have trail signs, wayfinding signs, just the two?
We'll have park signs, and then we'll have trail markers, just noting that you're on a trail.
So there's 4 different types?
Wayfinding signs, unfortunately, because of where they're located, they only point out a couple of parks.
I'll get to the end of it.
Sure.
I like the logo. I like the idea. Boy, we have people going in different directions.
Yes, and that is one of the reasons why I was very positive about moving in this direction. Only because it's just been too much, I guess, whether we call it sort of like a rogue campaign in the way of signage or the improper ways of getting a potential logo or brand assigned to an area. As you might have noticed, we've moved, but by force by the state in the last 5 years, we've had to remove all of our signage off of Cascade. That included Bird City, Tree City.
Yeah, they're
We're
gone.
like a lot of different
They're
things.
gone.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll look forward into when we get Grist Mill Park completed and the stairs, and maybe creating a space for those signage, kind of highlighting all of the things that we're committed to doing.
Right.
We don't have anything for parks.
I just found another one. There's one right next to the Olson building on the side of on a light pole there. That's another wayfinding one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was over by Panda Express for some reason.
I'm not a huge fan of the font of the word Osceola. It's a bit heavy, the kerning is too tight, and the script is somewhat difficult to read at distance.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's the intent tonight, that we're supposed to approve it so they can move forward and buy signs or something? Or are we
You
just
could make,
looking for
I
a
would
nod?
say on this one, you can either approve it or make recommendations. You want to see something different, or
Yeah, this
I'm all
isn't,
for some consistency, but I don't,
this isn't a village sanctioned item. I mean, it's wonderful that they've taken the time to design this. It's great. I think that the Trails Coalition has done some really good stuff, and they've done some fantastic fundraising. But I mean, if they're looking to do a branding campaign for the village, they're at the foot of a very large mountain.
Sure.
This is, to speak in another analogy, they've dipped their toe in a pretty big pool if they want to talk about a branding campaign for the village. Like, we're talking website, literature, communications, all of it, not just the signing. Like, that's physical signing. There are so many other things that are impacted.
we've got some major projects coming up too that are gonna want some new signage. We talked about a sidewalk going out to the hospital. We've talked about,
All the
Impact
signage.
7.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably a 2-year conversation, and I'd hate to see them spend money. So I like the idea. I'm not a sign guy, but actually technically I am. Sorry, that was my pun. Sign guy. Sorry. Try to lighten it up.
Look at the time.
Yeah, look at the time. I can't get behind it because we're on the cusp of a pretty big mountain, yeah.
I'm great. I'm thankful that they have provided this, and I think that it's something that they can absolutely use on trails in Osceola. I don't know that I want to incorporate parks yet, because that's going to fall into village branding. Like, they do a lot for our trails. They really do, and I acknowledge that. And I think that is a good step in the right direction, but this speaks to a much larger conversation when you get into branding, because this is what you would essentially be providing a sanctioned message to say that this group of individuals is now going to be responsible for the image that's portrayed to the people that come to town.
And I let them know that when this first came about, that the village would ultimately be responsible. Hence the reason we're here today. Of course, trails are in parks. That's one of the major reasons that I've sort of worked with them in the last year and
Mhm.
forcing them into becoming not just this trails coalition, but trails in parks, for the village of Osceola, so they could focus on not just the trails, but some of the things they want to do in the parks as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, as far as specific feedback on what's provided, for me, it's the word Osceola. It could be reworked, in my opinion.
So
The picture's nice. I mean, it's, who doesn't love the sun over a waterfall? So,
what's the plan for like signing out once we get the dog park going? Are we gonna update some signs to point people there?
Yeah, so right now with this $10,000 that's coming due toward the end of the year, I'll be looking at getting some signage made for all of our parks. And we can potentially use the current crest on top of them signs now with some basic rules and the name of the park. That's what we'll be looking forward to.
I'm using Street Viewer here, and I'm looking at, as you come down 35 by the Exxon gas station there, it points out M to the east. It says Business Park, Golf Course, and Stour 7 Lakes Trail. And I feel like there could be other, not that I don't want to point people out to the Stour 7 trail, but we've got other resources closer we could point to.
Completely agree.
And that's probably 2 signs that need to get reworked right there alone, plus some additional ones out on M to point people off of that.
Yeah, there is a lot of changes that need to be done within the whole wayfinding thing. Libraries moved.
yeah, and just make sure we
Veterans
get in
Park has
touch
been
with the Heritage Committee with regard to signage that's going to be used in Grist Mill, because some of what that money has been earmarked for is to provide their input on how that gets made. So. I'm all right with just allowing feedback to be the result of this discussion.
Just make one more note. We weren't sure either how far to necessarily take this in the way of the public, and we knew we were operating within park and trail spaces, but I mean, there's about 17 people and months of, so if we were to reach out to the general public, how many different types of and how much feedback do we really take in, I guess, before you ultimately even potentially come to a decision like a color, font, design, you'd get a million different ideas.
Yeah.
You got some groups that we've empowered to do things. We can't not take it. We can't not give them the opportunity to comment on it.
Yeah, I mean, you've essentially just approached us with, hey, we decided to paint your house pink. What do you think?
Right. No, I completely understand.
I mean, we're going to tell you what we think.
Yeah.
Who put together who handles the banners downtown?
Individual groups.
Well,
Oh, Chamber of Commerce, if you're referring
that's
to the
chamber,
vertical
because there's a
ones.
whole nother font.
But I think you're right, Brad. Everybody needs to be involved. All the groups need to, committees and commissions, that should have some say in this.
I like the idea. Are these funds that can be carried over if it's not done by year's end?
I can potentially request that at admin and finance level.
I mean, I like the idea of it. I want to make sure it's done right too, but obviously there's no funny to do it.
Yeah, we don't need to take the money away. Let's just set it aside and carry it forward and do it right.
A proper branding strategy is $100,000 adventure, easy. So just
We don't
for
have that.
perspective, like the scope of,
Doesn't mean we can't find it. I mean,
yeah,
if it-
well, I mean, we just underwent that at my full-time job. We went through a complete rebranding and it was a $100,000 project.
Oh, we got 90
So-
to go.
9 more years.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything on this?
I feel like Todd doesn't have a lot of direction as far as where it goes.
I think bring to committees was part of that.
I'd like to see maybe an assessment of everything that needs to change as associated with maybe the projects we know we have going on. We've got the hospital sidewalk, we've got the Impact 7 potentially, Ridge Road rework. Maybe we look at that and go, okay, out of all of this stuff going on, we have 24 signs that need to be reworked, and then how do we maybe it's not a full-blown rebranding, but let's get an assessment on what needs to be handled in the next 24 months, maybe, instead of just tackling a handful.
Cause Ridge Road, there's also gonna be, that's gonna be.
The trail people,
Part of a trail.
Yeah.
so.
By no means, I'll certainly, start taking this to the different committees and
yeah,
different levels.
that'd be
But
the
I
other
just,
thing.
we're not seeking here at this level, within the Public Works and this volunteer group, for rebranding the village, just merely a designation for our parks
Well, parks and trails,
and trails.
which is still gonna, it seems like it's growing.
Which I was gonna say, it constitutes a fairly large,
Out of all the signage in town, that's like half.
it's a substantial amount of signage, yeah.
Especially if you're putting it on like street signs direct. Yeah, it's a lot more.
So it's the heritage, the
Historical.
historical,
Site.
the
HPC.
chamber.
And I would probably involve the Public Works.
Public work, yeah.
Public Works, and then whatever our new, we have this art ordinance that we're working on, right, potentially?
That's only for historic preservation that only regards murals and art.
I know, but I feel like it's gonna, there's,
Yeah.
we're silly to not think that there's gonna be an impact or a review or somebody's gonna have a comment on it.
Yeah, we should at least afford them the opportunity to issue their statement or their
Yeah.
opinion. Yep,
It's gonna impact them at some point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the direction. The only specific feedback I've given is just on the script and some of the font concerns. I would like to see it reworked.
So I'm guessing, the feedback we're getting is define scope and then maybe a few alterations.
Yep.
Mhm.
Some review by the other committees.
That'll work on this one.
Thank you.
And we got 10 colors going on there, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe color.
gotta,
Okay, sorry, moving on to 6,
See,
thank you, 6C, Geiger Sidewalk.
did you just wanna sit down, Todd, and kinda kick back?
Take a seat next to
I want two
Carrie.
chairs, kick your feet up.
Yeah.
We both can talk about this one. This one was last year that the board wanted some input on how to go forward with Geiger Street and Cascade Avenue. Todd has reached out to the county. The county reached back saying the reverse, how'd they call that? The reverse what?
Reverse plowing.
Reverse plowing is not an option. We thought that would limit the overflow onto the sidewalk. The other option was not to plow as close to the curb, correct?
Correct, creating a windrow, curbside.
That would create huge issues for potential driving traffic.
We'd eventually, we'd end up having to move it. Means we're responsible outside of that 12-foot drive lane.
Current ordinance does state that people must remove snow on the sidewalks abutting their house. And I know you, as a board, was looking for potential options as this being a quote-unquote exception to the rule. So with that, we'd be looking for direction from the board tonight on how to proceed with Geiger.
Yeah. My
Am I
opinion,
missing anything here, Todd?
No, sir.
I have an opinion on this. And my opinion is that well, all right, just my opinion is we need to deal with the sidewalk. And we're gonna end up with the safe walk. This was a safe walk put in all the way past the motel to the driveway to the school. The one that's going by Geiger Street. I don't see one home address placard facing Main Street like some other homes. None of those. That's a cul-de-sac. So we have a safe walk going past the residents. I think we should be maintaining it as a village. So when these plows go through, there is no way I would expect an elderly person or somebody that's gone to work in the morning and they've already made 3 passes. We know how this works. And that sidewalk is full. There's no way you're going to get anybody to do it. And why should they have to pay out of their own pocket to clear a sidewalk they never use except for,
I want to ask,
I just don't know.
I want to clarify though, this is not a safe route to school. It was done as a safe route to school grant. And as I noted in my memorandum,
Okay,
disconnected. So there's no responsibility on behalf of the village to maintain a grant sidewalk, only to give a portion of the funding to complete this. So it's not essentially just a route for students to get to school. We're talking about the ability for someone staying at the hotel to walk all the way downtown. So it's far beyond.
Was that sidewalk, help me understand it. So was that sidewalk put in as part of that grant money?
Safe route grant, yes.
Okay. When it comes to I'm just going to use a quick example. There's a route from the school through Shellburg up to the industrial park.
Yes,
Who maintains that?
we do. It's on village property
Okay.
on both sides.
Trying to think of some other weird locations. I know we've kind of addressed M, and again, I think we're going to run into some new ones with the route going out to the hospital because there's some undeveloped land out there. In theory, we may end up with a sidewalk that nobody wants to own. So I don't know that I want to see us solve this problem on Geiger because I think it's just an unfortunate situation. But we've got this network of sidewalks that's going to be a problem in the future. And then I can appreciate labor, especially on a hard year where you're busy and it takes a lot to get done. But we've got this community asset that it seems like every year is a problem. So whatever we do tonight, I'd like to see us address it, kind of encompassing.
There's also a bunch of homes over in Gateway that have a sidewalk in their backyard too.
Our ordinance doesn't say anything about front yard or backyard.
So I'm just saying, there's other homes in the village that has a sidewalk in their backyard that are hard to get
Yeah,
to.
and one of my comments is related to that. I don't know who in the village administrative offices maintains previous copies of the newsletters that are sent out every year. Whoever has the fall newsletter, find the file and rewrite it tomorrow. I don't want to see it say in front of your home anymore. We asked about this last year when the community residents brought this up because the newsletter that they received last fall said that residents are responsible for removing snow in front of their homes, on the sidewalk in front of their homes. The words "in front of" were used in the newsletter. And we made a comment in a meeting, we can go back and find the meeting, to say that that newsletter should do nothing but copy and paste village code. And it came out again this fall and it was not changed. So I can tell you right now, every one of those Geiger Street residents is gonna say, you didn't change a newsletter, it still says in front of, it ain't in front of my home, I ain't doing it. So my position is because we failed to do our part to properly notify, we gotta clear it until we properly notify. It's all about, again, Mike makes a great point about following village code. If we can't notify village code correctly, why would we be willing or have any leg to stand on at all to enforce it?
I think the fact that this sidewalk was made possible by some safe route funds, that also ties us a little more obligation to.
But there's a little bit of a gentleman's handshake there going
I
on.
mean,
There is.
There's,
Yep.
you know, that's what separates us, you know, and village crew time aside, I understand that. But this is what set this particular piece of sidewalk aside from the other ones that have been mentioned here, is there have been funds, I mean, this was created due to funds for a safe route.
Is there a defined path that was part of this grant? That we can say it exists on Geiger, it exists through Shellburg, it goes, up to the industrial park?
I mean, are we,
Look on your GIS. Residents on Geiger don't even own that sidewalk.
Yeah.
nobody owns their sidewalk. Nobody owns.
Yeah,
their
nobody owns
sidewalk.
their sidewalk, Paul. It's all right away for
Yeah,
them.
Paul, at the end of the
idea
day, I'm on the page where I think we gotta address this, but I think there's a bigger, I'd like to not just have one exclusion. Because we're gonna have a problem up by Quick Trip and the hospital where this is gonna come up again, where it's, there's gonna be a piece of sidewalk that doesn't get cleaned. The church was the Catholic Church was one of the biggest violators last year. Not only did they not plow and they didn't get ticket, they also didn't clean the gravel off their sidewalk either. And there was no enforcement on that. Now, should they? I don't know. But if that's part of a safe walk to school and there's a value to the community, and it's just as easy for you to drop the truck or the skid steer once and go all the way around and make a loop. And that's just as easy as doing
I can tell you how much time and energy and money that takes.
Oh, I know.
And then how do we establish exactly what we're gonna consider a safe route to school? Does everybody?
That was my question, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, how can we define it to say it's these sections and that the village will maintain those? And then we can put, bookends on it and stop it there. So we don't have to have this conversation again. Or somebody ends up with a ticket and somebody didn't get a ticket.
Sure.
Yeah, and to the comment about placards on one side of a property or another, it's important to understand that there's a lot of properties that are corner lots and they have sidewalks on both. And the front of their house is only on one side. The other side is still a sidewalk that they still have to clear. So, that's just the reality of living where you have streets. So as far as code is concerned, the code states if it abuts your property, you got to clean it. And so that's where this whole disagreement comes from. But if we're not going to properly notify our residents of the code when it's time to get ready to do it, how can we ticket them then?
So I'm going to ask a more poignant question, Todd. So there's a pump station out on M by, towards Gateway. And I know you could do some cleaning there. And I know like this summer, there was some mowing there that went beyond what we would normally mow. And maybe it was just the skid steer turning around and he took some extra grass down. Are there sections that it's because you're already there doing something that it's not that big a deal to take and drive an extra block?
Not necessarily, especially when we're talking about the potential of the snowfall and the amount of time and energy. We're already putting 12 miles on a skid steer route minus these other sidewalks. Just our sidewalks alone, you could be looking upwards of 3 to 5 hours potentially. And then you combine that with a truck, whether it be ours or the counties or states, that goes by upwards of 3, 4 to 10 times during a snowstorm.
I know, I remember having this discussion because the plowing frequency is different for 35 than it is for the village property.
Correct.
And I know that was one of the arguments that was posed against the idea was, anyway. Is Geiger the only problem in town that you're aware of?
Absolutely not. We have similar situations. I mean, we have short boulevards in Gateway. You have a really rather short boulevard all the way up and down Seminole on the north side.
So maybe this is the easy way to, because we're going to get snow before our next meeting. So maybe the answer is that we agree that we're just going to take care of this section of Geiger, but then maybe in a month you come back and identify these areas that you think is reasonable to address for your staff, where it's always a problem, and we can just be done with it.
As far as us, you want me to identify areas for us to take over?
We've clearly got a problem where it isn't getting addressed. We either have to figure out how to go back and re-educate the owners, or we just address it and own it because nobody else is owning it.
I think that the scope of this has gotten out of hand. I know we're thinking ahead, but this is a safe route. This was built by safe route funds. We maintain it. The other properties are case by case or in the future unless safe route funds are used for those, because the village ordinance is pretty clear, right?
Is this the only safe route then that isn't covered, that we haven't addressed?
I mean, it comes down to assets too. I mean, I want to put it into perspective. If you get a dusting or something like that on a Saturday morning, let's just say even a ½ inch of snow that could easily be pre-treated roadways. Maybe you don't have a situation because you consulted. You're still going to send a guy in now to do potentially 5 hours of work on overtime after a potential, 3 people in the department after a potentially very busy week leading all the way up of snow removal process.
Yeah, but be careful not to let labor be your argument against whether or not we follow village code. That's an important distinction to make.
And I
We
completely,
can have separate conversations.
yes.
We can talk about, what your budget needs are.
Yep.
But right now, we're talking about how do we handle our village code? Because it's currently incompatible with an apparent residential issue. And I would caution you about using resources as the reason why it can't be done. Because we can find resources if we need to. The other option is to change code. We can laser out this particular part if we wanted to.
I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to get around this so we don't end up doing this every winter.
Agreed.
And if there's a way that we can maybe address this one right now, but then put it on and not let it run a whole nother cycle.
How hard would it be to find the original application for the grant that was used?
Yeah. And then just say.
Could have been a
anything within that-
map submitted with it, right?
Yeah, and then we just say we'll cover that area.
My
That would be
my biggest thing
Seven
is
would be-
that the village plows basically the rest, our trucks. The state trucks are coming through at max speed and the stuff is heading out and it's covered.
No,
the
man, I
sidewalk.
think everybody's on board with the idea. We're gonna address this one. I'm trying to capture a few more things to stop us
Yeah,
from having this
it's very
conversation every month.
questionable
No, I can
though.
understand where you're coming from. I'm gonna disagree though and hope that we don't have snow before the next meeting though.
Right.
We will.
But
We absolutely
We discussed
But I
assets
think, I think we have more control how they drive, and it's, I could be wrong, but you have more control of your trucks in certain situations where we have problems with this, okay? Of banking up snow on sidewalks and however. Am I right? I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know anything about snow plowing. I just know that when these things come through and the snow is flying, you know, I've seen all kinds of crazy videos how they, you know, they can cut off snow from driveways and blah, blah, blah. But,
we're just moving at much slower speeds.
right,
You know, we are pushing as hard as we can, though, so our roads don't shrink.
Right.
And also keeping our storm sewers open. And just to touch on assets, budgeting, things of that nature, just to go back to that, if we create all of this infrastructure that is going to be maintained by
yep,
the village of Osceola, then we have to be prepared to also be able to internally meet our village code. So if we have 20, I mean, I'm currently in a place with a department where I say, I'm comfortable with what we have, a 12-mile route, 3 hours, but that's something we can get done in combination with roadways, parking lots, downtown, beyond. But that's something that we're able to meet our own village code at this time. If we continue to add more and more and more to the list, 24 hours after snow cessation, we're not even gonna be able to get our own stuff done.
right. And
And that's where we look at potentially changing code. I mean, if there's a certain
Yeah.
low priority area, maybe we make it into the, you know, this is urgent level 1. Level 2 areas that get cleared
There you
past
go.
from 24 to 48 hours are in this zone. And there are so many things you can do with doing that. And
And Todd's right. Todd is right, because you've gotten caught in the trap before where you know, you just keep adding all these little extras, and pretty soon you're back up to maxed out, sleeping in the trucks, and we're in trouble. So I get what you're saying.
We're talking over here and over here.
Well,
Why not
Yeah.
just address Geiger tonight?
yeah, it's
and
just
then-
Geiger that's on
Right.
the agenda for this evening.
Right.
So
So,
I like the idea of trying to track down the
the grant,
grant, because I think we could put bookends on that.
find the map on it and, yeah, and I think,
We think SEH might have been the
I mean,
writer of that.
I could tell you where it started and stopped as far as the grant process goes. I mean, for 2017, when the project was conducted, why we didn't loop around Geiger, because the entire street would have had to have been redone to accommodate sidewalk
Yeah.
to go
I don't think
around.
there's a problem with what happened. There was
Yeah.
probably a lot of discussions and verbal agreements at the time that as soon as you started running low on funding and it got cut, then it became a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to head off a problem in the future, but, so do we just make a motion that the village?
well, and I
handles
think
the-
that the only portion of sidewalk that currently is attached to the roadway without any boulevard, any grass, is just that section in Geiger, right? From one end,
Correct.
at the entry to the exit of Geiger. That's the only portion that I think really needs to be at concern here. The rest of it has a little bit of room for the wing blade to throw some stuff onto some grass. And if some of it goes onto the sidewalk, you know, it's not like the situation on Geiger. Geiger is very, very unique in the fact that it is literally the curb and then the sidewalk. So all of the wing blade slough is coming and going right onto the sidewalk and it freezes instantly.
And that's why it's critical to keep it clean, because
Yeah.
it's also sidewalk highway,
right.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And kids do use this. I see them every day walking to and from.
You don't
It's on my walk
walking on
route
the
too,
highway.
so I'm on it all the time.
So
Yeah.
just to put a description to it, it goes from 35 and Geiger on the south end to that sidewalk actually ends. What's the street that goes in front of the elementary school?
10.
10th.
So it goes I'll say a block to where Geiger enters 10th.
Mhm.
Turns around the corner to the cul-de-sac.
Yep. Yeah, and I would be willing to bet that if we were to find the map attached to the Safe Route to Schools grant application, that portion would be in there.
Yep, it is.
There's gonna be more portions that are part of that sidewalk that was done that are in
Is
that
this something
grant,
the
but,
school might be willing to help with too?
but in terms of what we as the village need to make a decision on, I'm thinking that we just need to come up with something that we agree upon for Geiger.
Do we know Todd, do you know where the school ends?
Yeah, it's on the map. If you look on the map given to you, it shows you
Well,
exactly where the school.
Does the school, I know where it ends, but do we know where they stop plowing? Do they go up to Geiger?
I'm looking at the guy.
No, you
I would, yeah.
We have one more,
Property line.
yeah. So in theory, there's one more.
And the entire frontage of Art Barn is also supposed to be done by the Art Barn. We have a short section at the end where we begin.
Okay,
picking-
tell them,
Well, we have, no,
Great.
everyone was.
and then ticket them when they don't do it.
Everyone affected was all sent letters.
Yeah,
Right.
last fall,
That's
everyone-
reasonable.
Last fall, everyone was sent letters on the village code.
Because there's grass in between the roadway and that sidewalk. Okay, that's the key thing here. There is nowhere for the snow to go. And it's also not being plowed by a state highway plow or a county plow, I guess, plowing for the WISDOT. But, and they're cruising down the road at 25 miles an hour, like they're going on to the next spot that they gotta do. So they're not going at a slower rate of speed and they're not throwing a huge 2 foot, like I said, the wing blade throws a ton. And it just piles and freezes in an hour.
Are we backing this up and only talking about the sidewalk
Yes.
adjacent 35?
Yes, the sidewalk adjacent 35 from Geiger to 10th is the only one that should be talked about.
Yeah, well, I think we should be taking care of it.
And we do annual code updates, and I'm thinking that the larger conversation here is that we probably need to identify some exclusion zones from the part of the code that talks about residents removing snow. And all you have to do is just add, except for exclusion zone A, and then we can maintain an appendix at the end of the code that says anything listed in appendix A, these are the zones that are excluded from that. And it is not my intention to add more work. I don't want to add more work. But at this point, I can tell you right now, 90% of the residents, able-bodied, young or old, aren't going to have the equipment to clean that sidewalk. They're just not. Like the plow's going to go by, and 2 hours later, it's going to be solid as ice.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that 10 trips a day. I mean, you're gonna get the majority off, and I don't know what else to tell you.
And even since we started enforcing the code, and well before that, over a decade that I've been here, we've helped out in as many situations
I know
as we
you have.
can, from the gateway community where the snow just blows. We've seen it upwards on their sidewalk in the
Yep.
boulevard, 5 feet high.
Right,
We've utilized our wing on Geiger countless times where we're able to get curbside, set our wing down, get the vast majority of that off. And even have spoke to the residents in regards to, hey, maybe at a minimum, you can salt, sand, ashes as the code
Yes.
specifies. We've done all of that.
right.
Yeah, or we can close it. November 1st to April 15th or whatever, close that sidewalk.
Well, there you go.
Put signs up at each end. This sidewalk is closed until.
Shut
That actually is not a terrible idea. 'cause
Shut
There's
her
no reason you
down.
can't walk on Geiger. And then nobody's spending. the
I mean, it's an option.
But nobody's walking on 35 either.
Yes, Eric.
Could you just drop the wing and plow it when able, but otherwise leave it as every other sidewalk? It is the residents' responsibility, but
Well, to Todd's point though, is that we don't have our schedules don't coincide with the county's plowing schedule. And they go by and, I mean, we can fix what they've done and then they go by again and then we gotta go back again. It's just a constant cat and mouse.
right. And so if the village takes it over in whole cloth, then you gotta go back half a dozen times and it just doesn't work.
Right.
I like
But
the idea of
if
closing it.
we're
I do too.
I like the idea of closing it as well. That's an option. And if they don't wanna clear it, fine, don't clear it. We'll close it.
Yeah,
Oh, shut
I think
her
that's a
down.
safer option.
I'll be.
It's another option. I'm not saying it's the right one, but it's another option.
Good one.
They probably will.
It's a
Yeah.
safe route path. Kids aren't gonna walk around. They're gonna walk through it. And again, I understand the resources, Todd, I get that, but
Mhm.
this was money, we put the sidewalk in thanks to this grant. It is time, it is effort, it is money, but I think it's important that we keep it open. Whether that means plowing it 12 hours after the state plows come through, so you only do it once, whatever the case is, but I think it's important we keep it open. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, what do we need? Some sort of motion on this or what?
Be careful.
Well, that's it.
You're making a motion, Vin?
What do you want? Some guidance?
We need some, either motion or something here.
Making a motion to continue. Well, we have to make sure that the ordinance and that we're,
We don't get to pass motions that go against our ordinances.
okay,
So
so,
we can pass a motion to help residents,
When we can.
Okay,
almost,
but
or-
that's not, I
I don't
mean,
know how.
you gotta
that-
be
I don't-
specific.
Yeah.
I would make a motion that the village crew maintain this portion of the safe route sidewalk. For the,
From where to where?
well, from Geiger to around the corner back to Geiger on 10th.
I'll second that motion.
You got that, Carrie? So I'm in favor of the motion, but I would also like to see another board action at some point soon, exploring
We're
a
not done
change
with
to
this
village code.
conversation.
No.
We just need to get it
but we
fixed
need to
for
do
Todd
it,
now.
yeah.
I understand that, but this doesn't fix the problem for the future. Like, it now makes
We
more
waited all
work for
summer
him.
to talk about it. It's good enough for right now.
We made progress.
I almost think we need to even add because if maintaining it, so one day if he has to go over there multiple times, we're doing this for the school and safety for children, right?
No, it's anybody that
Or
wants it.
anyone.
It's a village
Yeah.
sidewalk.
We're not gonna solve this tonight. We can keep talking about it. I think we got a decent motion on the floor.
Oh, we got something moving.
I just seem like it should be like I don't know, like a twice or once kind of path, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's
it-
hard though.
it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, but it seems like that's very broad
Yeah.
of emotion to
So
me.
Carrie, if you don't mind, Brad, can I have her read?
Reread? Yeah, can
Yeah.
you reread it?
A motion for village crew to maintain sidewalk on Geiger to around the corner to Geiger on 10th Street.
Anyone else have any in for or against that motion conversation?
Yeah, I think that was right. I put the word safe route enabled sidewalks just because I think that's one of our justifications is grant funds were received to create the sidewalk and make it.
Yes.
So I think in lieu of anything else, there's a kind of an obligation for the village to help.
We have reasoning behind it, not just that we're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe route sidewalk.
again, this came up last year and we sat on it all summer. I think considering we didn't do anything all year with it.
Well, we did. We communicated with Polk
I
County.
get it, but we're addressing it now.
Yeah.
I want to move forward on this.
Took a call and an email to the county administrator to get the highway people to answer our questions.
I'm not, let me rephrase how I'm saying that. I'm not saying it's sad, but it's clearly a bigger issue. At least now we've done something to solve the problem so that in a month Todd's not writing a ticket and we end up with a bunch of angry residents. again.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the progress we've made. Let's move this forward and not let it sit another month because he's got better things to do.
Well, we can, a motion's been made, second, and we can vote on it.
Can you reread again, please, Carrie?
A motion for village crew to maintain safe route sidewalk on Geiger to around the corner to Geiger on 10th Street.
I can get behind that.
Was that a call to order? What's the-
Mhm, yep. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say no. Passes.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, 6D, Heritage Committee bylaws and officers.
So the last few meetings for the Heritage Committee, they've been discussing their bylaws and the voting of officers at their meetings. They formally had their vote on November 4th to elect the committee and the officer appointments. Tonight, we'd be looking for a motion to accept the bylaws and the committee as presented. There is a member from the Heritage Committee tonight if there's any questions about what they've discussed and about the bylaws that they have passed. And the date will be added to the bylaws once they're approved tonight, or if they're approved tonight.
I appreciate the work that you put into getting this set up. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's really good.
I read through it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. They have all their appointed people, the commission and committee. And it really looks good. They've done a lot of work.
I will move that the village adopt these.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by myself and a second by Nicole to adopt these bylaws. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay, 6E, we're gonna review the bids and hopefully award a rebid for the Bluff Tower Water Main Replacement Project.
Rick and Eric handle this one, so I'll turn it over to whoever wants to discuss it.
Eric, I'll let you take
All right, so
there's any questions.
we kind of gave overview last month when we requested to put this out to bid, and as was mentioned, it was an aggressive timeline. We did advertise it the day after the last meeting, and bid opening was last Thursday. We received 4 bids, the highest being 1.06 million and the low being roughly 790,000 at Minger Construction. We're pretty excited to receive any bids. We received 4. Our engineer's construction estimate was right in the middle, where our last estimate was 960,000. So we're right in the middle of bids. They came in well. Minger Construction, Cole from Minger came out actually before the bid and met with Rick, walked the site. Very familiar with the challenges that are there. And Rick walked through a bunch of stuff with them. Rick felt comfortable with that discussion, and I called Cole after the bid, spoke with him probably 15 minutes. And by the end of our conversation, I was saying, hey, we got 2 other projects that were bidding this year. I'll let you know when they come out because it seemed right. I did talk to one of my coworkers. I have not worked with them before. I talked to one of my coworkers that has, so they did a great job on a project that he worked on. I also asked for 2 references. I called both, spoke with them, and both gave glowing recommendations. It was 2 projects that they worked on this summer. One of the owners that I spoke to was actually the Pheasants Forever group. They did a project for them, and they're trying to find more work for them to do. So absolutely feel comfortable recommending Minger. Another bit of good news, we just got the list from the DNR for the safe drinking water this week, and it's a draft list of awards there. They not only will fund the project with low interest loans, but also we qualified for principal forgiveness of 45% of eligible costs up to 920,000. So basically half the project costs, engineering and construction will be covered.
That's right.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
You were right, Mike. 4 bids came in.
Yeah.
Things have slowed up a bit.
They're hungry.
So there's 2
Yeah.
typos in there. The commas seem in odd spots in that $1 million bid.
Yeah.
In the narrative and in your matrix.
Yeah, is it 1.063?
I'm gonna ignore the punctuation. And
Oh,
Yeah, I
it's,
see that.
got it, 40250.
What was your engineer's estimate for this?
960,000 was when we came to committee.
That carried a contingency or something, didn't it?
It did, yep. So we carried 10% contingency on our construction estimate.
So 90,000 on top of your 900.
Yeah, sure.
So okay, 810 would have been the construction cost in theory, right? If you take the contingency out of it from your engineer's estimate.
But I wouldn't.
Well, I know, but I'm,
You're just picking it apart.
no, I'm,
So
it,
especially.
where I'm going with it is your estimate was fairly decent. It was a little on the low side and the spread's 25% from top to bottom. So it's a good representation.
So
Are
is
we
this
looking
another
for-
deal where, we start finding them if they're not on schedule? Is this
Well,
when we start this?
After we give them the
So
contracts.
there's some very strict language, and worked with the roads committee, Alien Roads Committee, is that what you are? Anyway.
Water and sewer.
Water and
Yeah.
sewer. Oh, okay, water and sewer, that makes sense. One timeline is that they can only, once they start work on 35, has to be back to fully open within 14 days. We did add a dynamic messaging system signs, the big signs you see that say things that we'll be putting before any of the lane closures out there. You guys know about the timelines regarding environmental sensitivities of the bats and things, where we have to go May 15th to August 15th. So if awarded, they do have some work that they have to do in winter with some tree clearing. And so, sooner than later, we'll be looking at schedule.
So in the front end of your spec, does it require so many days before they submit a schedule?
I think it's required at pre-con, in advance of the pre-con.
There's a lot of people that are going to get affected by this, and there's people that aren't familiar with construction. I'll just use BP for an example. They've got deliveries. We've got the Busy Bees across the street. AJ would be silly not to plan for some hiccups during that, even though there's signage. I just think having a good schedule put together and holding them to it, Pember aside, is just going to help everybody, because we're going to get a lot of questions about it. And we don't need Devin fielding every question from one business downtown every minute that something's going on. It'd be nice to publish something so people know ahead of time. And again, front end of the specs usually have requirements for 30, 60, 90 days, that kind of thing for what's done. I mentioned this to Angela when she was doing a job, just follow through with that. Don't wait until I call you and say, hey, where's your submittal schedule? Do you have everything? When's the warranty start? When are they supposed to be done? To then have her draft something up after the fact. So.
Yep, noted.
Say based on, sounds like Minger's been vetted pretty well by Eric and SEH and Rick. I mean, it's great news when it comes to I don't know if it's a grant or the qualification thing too. I would make a recommendation that we award this bid to Minger Construction.
Second. Where are they out of again?
Jordan.
Okay. I've seen their name before. They've done work obviously in the Twin Cities, so it's.
Yeah, so if Rick wants to say anything too, but apparently they kind of specialize in difficult jobs. And the foreman actually is Balsam Lake, and his crew is from Turtle Lake.
So they have employees that kind of live all over the place because they work all over the place, but it sounds like they really like these jobs on this side of the state.
Nice.
Not on the other side of the city.
Yeah, they don't have to commute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home every night.
Perfect.
It makes sense why mobilization was low for that and Pember.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Notice that.
Happy employees.
All right, we have a motion by Ron and a second by Mike. Any discussion on the motion? Notwithstanding the discussion we just had on the motion. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay, 6E, review bids, nope, 6F, River Street and Third Avenue reconstruction.
River Street and Third Avenue reconstruct concept for the layout. Before you tonight are two options, one way and then open up for a two-way all the way around the loop of Third down to River. So far, we had public information, and the one way was by far the favor of the people at the meeting. And then last week at the Planning Commission, the recommendation of the Planning Commission was also to go with the one-way option, which is option 1 in your packet. Any other technical information regarding the traffic study that was done, Eric can talk about tonight. So tonight we'd be looking for a recommendation to go forward with only options for design, so we can get out for bid this winter.
Make a motion, we move forward on option one.
I will second that.
Motion by Mike, second by Van to go forward with option one way. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. 6G, Teamster Union Contract.
This contract was quick and easy and painless, and it'd be a 2-year deal for 3% and 3.5%. And that was the only thing that was negotiated on this contract.
I move to adopt.
I will second.
Motion by myself, second by my Nicole to adopt. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Make sure we sign these items
Motion
tonight.
carries.
Brad, make sure we sign these items tonight.
I will. 6H, we have an ordinance to talk about.
So this is the second reading tonight of the public art ordinance within the Historic Preservation District, not anywhere else in the community, just the Historic Preservation Committee. The Historic Preservation Committee approved this motion, this resolution or ordinance back in August.
Yeah.
Tonight we'd be looking for formal approval. This would be the last time for you to edit the ordinance as written. I do know that the Explore Osceola and the Business Improvement District have expressed interest in allowing placemaking style art installations, such as murals or wings designed for photo opportunities. That has been relayed again to me by Wyatt, who is the Explore and the Bid Director. So that is something that he wanted me to talk about tonight. So I mentioned that. Other than that, this was recommended by a 5-0 vote at the 4-0 vote at the Historic Preservation Committee. So with that, any questions or comments or conversation on it? But tonight we'd be looking for the final approval of the ordinance with any as is or with any additions or changes to it.
The adoption of the ordinance.
Just, could you clarify what Wyatt he was asking for a change to involve a placemaking, or he's
Yes.
happy with
He
the
was-
way it is?
He was asking for placemaking murals to be added to the acceptable art, which would still have to go through the approval process set forth within the ordinance.
So does the ordinance as drafted now allow for that to happen, or does that require
Uh,
some action
you
here
have-
tonight?
Within the ordinance, you have, I gotta find it, submission proposals. Making sure I get- It's 3 under C3. You have, shall review proposals based on the following criteria: relevance to the heritage, culture, and the history of the village of Osceola within the preference for artwork that depicts the village historic industries such as lumber mills and milling. So they feel like that might be too restrictive. That's kind of the issue that they've had with the ordinance, is that one.
Well, it just says a preference for artwork, but it doesn't say requirement that it meet
Or must.
or depict.
Right?
I don't see anything here that would prevent them from being able to approve something like that if it were, you know,
No,
there's some level of subjectivity here. so.
There is, and there's open,
To interpretation.
right.
Yeah, and if you want to be involved in that conversation, what a
Right.
great thing to do, to join the Historic
There
Preservation
you
Commission.
go. But we did a lot of work on this and a lot of research, Devin and the rest of the staff. It just, we did not have anything, and now we have something that I think just everything applies to our community. And, I mean, there's always gonna be, some questions as to whether they really understand it and how to apply it. But, and that's it, this is a baseline.
Yeah.
So the short answer to your question is no changes needed.
Right.
It's
Well,
covered.
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve this ordinance
I'll
as it's
second.
presented.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Arvid and a second by Nicole to approve this ordinance.
I got 2 questions because I was trying to reading faster than I could talk.
Sure.
Mhm.
There's a reference to violations in the fee schedule. Are we addressing is this under chapter 130? Is it the $50 by offense? What number are you talking about?
The fee
Well,
schedule?
I think we had
The
a,
only thing I quick saw in the fee schedule was any violation of Article 130 or Ordinance 130. Does this fall under 130? Where that would apply? Or is there no fee,
I
no
was just-
fine associated with this yet?
Are you talking about the last page?
yeah,
So the last statement in the new ordinance says,
That's just moving it?
any persons or persons violating any provision of this chapter shall be fined the amount as established
It's,
annually.
what that's doing, that already exists. But because we're adding this into it, we had to move it back to 9. So
I had to make
Oh,
public art
so the-
number 8.
the
I
next
follow.
one.
it's why there's a strike through it. It's already passed.
I'm, okay.
But we had to, in order to make our numbering system
okay.
make sense, we had to move things around.
Okay, so where is the fine in the fee schedule? Does it exist? Is it the one
It's the rest of 130 of historic preservation.
Yeah,
I'm just changing the number.
Okay, so-
There is that in the fee schedule.
So under penalties, it says penalty for a chapter 130 violation. Is this a chapter 130 violation if somebody goes against the?
No, the compliance and enforcement is listed on E.
Yeah, it's point E. And it just says they'll be authorized to enforce compliance and or take action to remove it.
That's why it wouldn't be a bad idea to, I mean, I'm sure that there's gonna be nail to the applicant. But I've been in communities where they put this mural up and it looks great the first week or year or whatever, but after 5 years, it's all faded and painted.
Yeah.
And people are now gone. So who's on the hook for that? The village. Right? To whatever the artwork is. And I wanna make sure that. we
The
avoid-
property owner is the,
yeah.
it's,
Yeah, I
that's
think
listed
it's
out too.
property.
Yeah, and it also in there, in that, it also states that after 5 years, and
Lifespan and maintenance.
Yes.
This is
Yeah,
like
but
my
I do
fourth
understand what
version.
you're trying to say is with the name on the application. So
Okay,
with
there's
that,
two pending questions here because I'm still lost. Somebody needs to point to me to tell me what the fine is.
There is no fine.
Okay.
It's maintenance.
So we have a gap in it.
No, the maintenance is either you have to remove it. It's the compliance and enforcement is E.
Okay, I get it. It's E. Where's E on here? Help me understand what E is. What page is E on?
84 of 92 of the packet.
compliance and enforcement.
84 of 92. Okay, so so 9, maybe this is why I'm lost. 130.9-9, that references a fee schedule, now it just doesn't apply to,
No, what it is this, we are passing ordinance
Okay.
130 hyphen.
this doesn't apply to it. The only reason it's here is because it's moved.
Because it's moved, yes.
Okay, thank you. That's,
Yeah.
I was not
Yeah.
following. I
Yep.
was
Yeah,
being
we have to approve all changes
Yep,
that
I'm-
this
I'm
impacts.
with
so-
it. It doesn't apply to this. The
Yeah.
enforcement is under E
Yep.
of
Mhm.
just this ordinance. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Now back to Ron's question. How do we know when it needs to maintain? Where's do we draw this line where we don't think it looks good? They need to do
Right,
So
the
something.
building.
lifespan and maintenance, it's D1. Public art must be maintained for the life of the artwork. Maintenance includes regular cleaning, repairing of any damage, and restoration if necessary to preserve
And
the
then
appearance and
D2 is
integrity.
the
But
property owner.
it would have to be the property owner.
That's just some soft language
regardless.
about if we think it's missing, if the eye falls off of it, put the eye back, but
All right, we do have a motion and a
Motion and
second.
yes.
Yeah, so we should pull
There was
to a
discussion.
vote.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries. Okay. 6I, Resolution 2506 to adopt the fee schedule for next year.
There we go.
Yeah, this is the annual, ever since we moved a lot of our items out of the ordinance so we can update them yearly instead of changing our ordinances, we have adopted a fee schedule for the upcoming year. There is one change on here that was recommended today. It was to increase the fee of fingerprinting to $20.
From,
It was $10 currently and $20. So if there's a motion today, I would like the motion to be approve it with that edit. Is there anything else I'm missing on this one today?
Is that just for the non-school related?
Yes, not the non-school related.
How many people do we fingerprint per year?
Per year,
Yeah, what'd you say?
30 to 50, somewhere in there.
It's not a huge moneymaker.
Okay. No, I
It's more or less,
I know.
it's recouping the 10 minutes of time it takes.
Okay.
Ron, I remember you bringing up a bunch of things that the police department
Uh,
does that maybe didn't get captured in here? Are they gone still?
Yeah, I'd have to look at the whole fee schedule side by side, but I think Chief Bach did a pretty good job of incorporating a lot of those. The whole, I mean, in addition to recouping costs, people go shopping, right? People come from out of the community and say, I don't want to drive to St. Croix County or Hudson, so I'll just go to the Osceola Police Department, they'll fingerprint me. And we don't mind doing it for anybody, especially locals.
Yeah.
You know, or local businesses, but it's the people who come from the outside who want a background check for something or other. That's why I think it's important to make the cost comparable maybe to other agencies and cut down the number that we have to do, so.
I feel like the kennel license might be low at 55.
We've had one since I've been here, I believe. We've had one kennel license since.
It's on River Street, I think.
yeah, I was like, how many kennels do we have?
One new one since I've been here. Just
Yeah, not many.
Yeah, not many, not since I've been doing it.
No.
Since the next topic is gonna be parking stick, Chief Bach, what are your thoughts on the parking fines?
So actually.
Good suggestion.
we had this discussion today.
Yeah, on the fee schedule,
Well,
yeah.
I looked at that earlier. With those two particular parking ordinances, they are addressed solely by the board for an amount to be assessed. Otherwise, the other parking violations get kicked to our general penalties ordinance, which can be anywhere from $25 to $1,000. So, but those two particulars, the overnight parking for the winter and then the snow emergency, are dictated by the board.
So how
I
do we,
remember that came up, I think.
how do we determine the amount then for somebody who parks for 8 hours in a 2-hour spot?
Believe that would, talking to the judge, usually the judge assesses that, but I've gotten no clear direction on who actually comes up with that. Our current parking violations that are not handicap or snow related are $30.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is something we should probably think about now in the event that, I mean, we can always change it in the future. But say a year or 2 or 3, we do go to another enforcement tool and it drastically changes. I mean, this is the kind of thing you want to try to think about now.
Mm-hmm. Do we even offer an overnight parking permit?
Yeah,
Really?
the parking, not the winter parking permits, that is.
Yeah. It's in the fee schedule.
Can we do away with that?
No, we still have winter parking.
No, we always used to issue winter parking permits.
Yeah, I still issue them, or Carrie does, and I sign them.
Who gets those?
Downtown business, the apartments above the downtown businesses,
Ah,
because they have no on-site parking.
got it.
I don't know why I'm stuck on this, but is this a cigarette license or
Tobacco license?
a tobacco license? Okay.
So the point tonight is to
The cigarette, and
approve
I'm
this
like,
permit fee with the
Yeah.
adjustment of a fingerprint too.
Yep. And
Because
then,
I could go on and ask some more questions. Like, I feel like I've been dancing without a permit.
Well,
what?
you need to get one.
You need
I
to
don't
get
know what
that.
incidental
I've seen
dancing
you
is.
dance.
We could go on for hours and ask
It's
questions.
part of the fair permitting process every year.
Sure.
Is that could be addition to the county? Because they
How
already
dare you
assessed
dance?
it.
I've never assessed a full salon.
I want a permit. I
You don't want to say that.
don't want to be licensed to do that. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve this with an adjustment to the fingerprinting to $20.
Fingerprinting for
20.
Before a second is
Non-school.
issued, can we talk about, where's the village board special meeting fee?
First box on the bottom.
That we charged, $100, I
Special
think,
village
wasn't
board
it?
meeting.
Yeah, $100.
oh yeah, there it is.
Is that okay with everybody?
Well, we never used to charge.
There's a bunch on here that we could talk all night on this.
This is what it's here for. Annually, we can update it, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
We never used to charge, now we do for if they want a special meeting, like when they don't fill out their application.
So let me ask you a different question. Does this need to go back to Devin to go back through and go, what makes sense and go all the way across
We
the
just
board?
created this 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
Last year, we adopted it for 25 for the first time.
So we went through the whole ordinance book, and anytime it said
Any fee, it got moved to this
it got
schedule.
moved to this.
So between Carrie and Devin, which one is on here, do you think are not the right amount of money for the time vested?
As of right now, we looked through this and any changes would be on here already.
So you've already made a pass at this.
Yeah, we've looked at it. Like I said, we just did this last year and we changed a lot of things last year. So this year we didn't really change much of anything.
I think there should also be a fee for people who fill out their applications either wrong or lie on it. And you guys have to catch it and say, hey, did you forget about your 2 criminal arrests here? Oh, yeah, I'll let you review those.
$10 fee.
Okay, you know what? There's another fee there because now we had to catch it. We had to call you. You had to come in. Now you have to redo it. I wish we could just deny them, but a lot of times we can't because they think that they're going to be denied and they can't. But I think there should be a fee for people. If it's a simple typo, that's fine, right? But if
Oh, no.
someone comes in and misrepresents it and our village staff catches it,
Oh, yeah, they do.
they forget the
Is that-
back.
Yeah.
Is that a re-review?
Well, I saw this down below. I saw.
Hey, come in, we'd like to talk to you about your permit.
Oh, man.
It was
We
half
need-
the price. There's another fee down here where it's a re-review, whatever you called it. It was half the price of original permit. I mean,
Yeah.
And we already have it,
that's yeah.
right?
Special event permit application.
Yeah. I'm more, not so much special event. I mean, I'm not gonna ding these people. I'm looking for people who put in for alcohol licenses.
Yeah.
or tobacco licenses, and they outright misrepresent the information on there.
Of course they do.
Should we just be going through this line by line?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Well, we're jumping all over and I don't know that we have an answer to any of this.
I think staff recommends it. I mean, they've all looked at it. They all think it's fair with one change. I just think at some point we should look at adding one more category line for people that misrepresent themselves on there.
Yep.
So yeah, we put months in this last year.
Yeah.
Misrepresentation is a hard thing to define, but I agree with you. If you have to rerun somebody because of a falsification, that,
It's
In my
that
opinion, it just constitutes another application, so.
yeah,
Scrap it and start over.
Maybe we do that.
Just double
just
bill.
deny it, send it back to them and go, you want to fix it? We can run it again, but you have to
Not
reapply.
again, reapply.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, and that just works within.
Well,
the
then you
fee.
wouldn't even have to make a fee. He can
You're
just
right.
reject it.
You're right. It would just be another processing.
Denied.
Get a
Okay,
big red
I'm,
stamp for
I'm
it.
fine if somebody wants to second the motion that was thrown on the floor then.
We just specify which fingerprinting though?
The
Non-school related.
Non-school related,
Because there's two.
Yeah,
So-
non-school
The-
So that-
related.
the $10 one to $20. The non-school related.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Motion by Mike and a second by Nicole. With the change.
To the non-school related.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, we are on to 6J. Approval of the police vacation 2025 payout.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this will be a letter of understanding just for this year. Basically, what has happened is Officer Revin has been unable to take vacation time due to being short-staffed. He's been denied vacation due to not be able to cover shifts. So because of this, he has excess vacation this year, and we'd be looking to pay him out at regular time for down to 80 hours, which is the maximum you can carry over going into 26. This passed admin finance last week by a vote of 2-0. Tonight, we'll be looking for a motion to accept this letter of understanding.
What, so this is gonna happen again in the future. What do you,
I don't believe it'll happen again in the future. This year was unique because we have 2 field training officers, myself and then Officer Revin, and we're essentially trying to train 3 full-time officers within the span of like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So if Officer Revin wants to take a day off, I have to deny a shift to one of our probationary officers because they can't just come in and work
Sure.
without supervision.
So on let's just say you're all staffed, everybody uses all their vacation hours and it miraculously works out to zero on December 31st? Or is there some other?
Typically, we haven't had issues with, some of our staff carry up to the 80 hours over into the next
So
year.
we already have provisions for carryover.
Yep.
Up to 80
Max-
hours.
Max of 80 hours. And I said, this is basically, I told staff that I would do this to any department that was short-staffed, that was unable to take vacation.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I
I
didn't,
think it's reasonable.
I was asking because was there another provision out there? And you answered
Yes.
it. There's an 80-hour carryover so if somebody is, you should be able to get within 80 hours at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't anticipate it'll be a future issue, just.
And that's what we're paying them down to too. We're paying them down to 80.
Sure. I make a motion that we approve this side letter.
And his,
Yeah.
his,
I swear it's not that.
his comment.
I would love to take a day off.
I will second Mike's motion to approve this payout. The motion by Mike and a second by myself to approve this payout. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. 6K, discussion on parking safety sticks.
Yeah, so we've been meeting with MPS regarding the use of safety sticks in the downtown area, in our no parking areas, and in front of fire hydrants and crosswalks to help pedestrian safety and to make sure that cars are not parking when they're not supposed to. The biggest areas that we know of, the biggest offenders are in front of the watershed and across the street from watershed. And then we also have potential issues for the two crosswalks, the two fire hydrants in the downtown area too. This is really just to make sure that these areas are properly enforced. With that too, there's a possibility that safety sticks could be implemented in to help with our traffic enforcement if you want to take it a step further to help, because currently it's not appropriate. It's not really cost efficient to enforce our parking ordinance, because by the time you chock the tires, put it in, you have more man hours into it than the ticket's worth. So this would drastically cut down on man hours if you decide to go that route too, of installing the downtown area to help with the enforcement of the 2-hour parking issue or the 2-hour parking ordinance that we currently have on the books that we're not enforcing right now. With that, we can answer any questions that you might have or direction on this memo that Chief Bach crafted today. AJ, anything you want to add?
Yeah, like Devin said, there's 2 areas downtown where it's more of a public safety concern. We have the crosswalk just north of First Avenue, spanning Cascade Street, and then the area just north of Watershed where it's yellowed out, no parking. We often see violations there, so I think implementing some safety sticks there would be great for the no parking, prohibited parking ordinance and state statute. But on that note, these devices can also be used to monitor the time limits in the downtown area. And if we were to put those in our timed parking area, notably our 2-hour ordinance or 2-hour time limit zones, we would be able to effectively enforce those violations without sinking the man hours into chalking the tires, monitoring vehicles and whatnot.
We just brought this up, didn't we? I mean, we just talked about the parking enforcement.
Yeah,
We'll
this
hold off until.
was,
No, that was
that
paid
was for
parking.
paid parking.
Okay. So different.
The direction was to explore the safety sticks for the crosswalks and the potential for enforcement.
So walk me through what happens. So we put a stick out and somebody parks there for too long.
Yep, so the safety sticks, my understanding, talking with the vendor, is they would cover 2 parking spots, right? It'd be a pole that would come up from the sidewalk, and it essentially captures a license plate, notes that if it stops and starts a timer, essentially. If that vehicle exceeds the parameters that we put into it, namely the 2-hour time limit that we have mostly in the downtown area, it would send us a report on that vehicle, give us the date, the time, the location, the license plate.
Right here, AJ, I got a picture for you.
Right there. And we would be able to essentially write a parking ticket for that vehicle.
So this comes into Jen. Jen then gets an email. She in turns writes one of you guys write a ticket and mail it out to
Yeah,
license
essentially.
plate.
Yep,
So that's a municipal ticket, right?
correct.
Does that go on there?
No, I believe it's municipal forfeiture, so it's not a moving violation or anything like that.
So it just sits there, and what happens if let's say I park there and don't pay it?
I know that one of the options, I believe we can suspend registration on vehicles.
So there is some state enforcement.
There is enforcement that a municipality can take if it goes unpaid. I'm not overly familiar. That'd be a good question for the courts, but I've
What's
heard of vehicle registrations.
Just watch out for the black helicopters, Mike.
So what's the, they fly over my house all the time. What's a parking ticket worth?
$30.
So we're gonna get a $30 ticket to then process this through this process and run it up the food chain, potentially, and
For each violation, yes. The way I see it, again, if we're given direction, this would be hashed out with talking with the vendor, but we could get like weekly reports, bi-weekly reports. I have no idea how many violations we'd get kicked back to us, but drafting the citations would not be that time consuming.
so I'm gonna back up. We've got an issue where somebody might park for too long in a location, but then we also have some areas where there's no parking at all, right? That people are parking in.
Yeah, yeah,
So you don't have to chalk a tire if somebody's in the wrong spot, right?
correct.
Mhm.
Or
You can just go write a
handicap
ticket right
parking.
there.
Yeah, if we
Mhm.
observe the vehicle, we can immediately.
So do we think half of them are a duration issue and the other half are a location
Well, I
issue?
think there's far more duration issues than there are the illegal parking spots. Unless you're on the weekends where the parking is absolutely crazy to the downtown area, that's when we see the violations occur.
Yeah, when we were discussing this in admin finance, one of the key areas that we have to focus on is the liquor store parking lot. There's quite a few business employees that are using that for all-day parking right now, and they shouldn't be. It's a village lot, really close to downtown, so.
Yeah, did we ever clear up the language on what is the entire lot village?
Majority, the spots right in front of liquor are not,
And they're signed that way.
and they're signed that way. And then obviously behind the businesses, there's no painting for the parking, but those belong to the businesses behind. But anything that's in that
Painted,
direction is on village.
Yeah, the painted spots are village owned. Now we own the whole lot, so.
Just on the topic of enforcing our code, this would allow the police department to effectively enforce it with minimal.
Effort, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
I like
And
the
it gives
idea
you
too.
statistics.
Is there a
Like-
cost to us for these?
There's no upfront cost for them. They take a portion of the ticket.
Yeah, they just get a portion of the
And that's why
proceeds.
we're also exploring the option of what it takes to increase the potential ticket cost too.
So is it location and duration, right?
Mhm.
That's the two things that
And identifies the vehicle.
those are the two ordinances we're trying to enforce though, is the
Oh,
duration.
yeah,
and a location
Yep,
issue.
the timed parking and then the obvious. public
Illegal
safety
zones, yeah.
issues, you know. If it's a yellow zone, fire hydrants, which I haven't particularly seen fire hydrants being an issue in the downtown area because they're set back far enough. But I've seen vehicles parked across the crosswalks and stuff.
There
like
are some areas
corners,
downtown that's
around the
hard to-
Corners, they stick out, hazardous parking.
In front of the
And-
post office is 15 minutes. That one I know is abused frequently.
And I also want to think about any other crime that's committed downtown. Could you use some of the reports from this?
I would imagine
to
so, talking to the
identify.
vendors, like if a vehicle were to be parked and the suspects did their thing, came back, we would have a record of that, like our
Yeah.
flock cameras, you know, I don't know.
Right here, look at this story. The safety stick is what caught this.
Well, there you go.
Yep, that's,
Okay.
So it's got the potential.
Yeah.
However, I primarily look at it as a parking enforcement mechanism.
yeah, which makes, I mean, that's what it's designed to do, but
Yep.
we
The
do have
potential is
these
certainly-
potential
That's why the fee schedule
extras,
Conversation right before this, I
Right.
brought
which
that
is
up.
interesting.
Which we can readdress it again. I mean, we can definitely add it to the next month's meeting to change that one item on the fee schedule if we wish, so.
I like the idea, as long as we have a designated spot as far as to and from and designated areas that we're gonna use these parking sticks, they're not movable, interchangeable, you know what I mean? We can always add to it.
Sure.
Here's how they're installed. They're
They're
also
just concrete bolts, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess just looking at it, I'd look at the 2 hour parking zones, which primarily encompasses Cascade Street, Chieftain Street, First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue.
What do we do? Does this include the lot behind the post office?
No, I would look at this as on-street parking versus.
But we also talked about the liquor store parking.
Well, you
Well, we
guys-
could,
you
we
guys do what
could
you-
add to it if this becomes a success too.
I know,
It's not-
I'm pointing this
Yeah,
out
the,
because
the liquor store parking lot conversation is different because that involves different hardware. Like that's on light posts versus these sticks.
we're going down a slippery slope, and I thought we had this resolved, that we were gonna leave this alone until the impact of the brick is
We
done.
have
No,
paid
That's paid parking.
parking. We
I
don't
felt like the whole conversation was encompassing all of their product.
Mm.
I know that when I was the police chief, we would get calls that ebbed and flowed between some to a lot, where businesses were calling and not having.
Why aren't you enforcing? Yeah.
Yes, why aren't you enforcing it? People are parked, they're not coming in, they're parked for hours on end. I don't think anybody's gonna complain if we set it at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Give a little grace period to people too. We're not trying to trap people. But the whole point is moving people along, getting people in and out of businesses.
Yeah, and I,
things like that.
Complying with ordinance.
one of the other complaints from the business community is we don't want to push this problem into somebody else's parking lot either. The grocery store spoke out pretty highly against some of this.
Yeah.
But I don't think this has to deal with like the paid parking issue. I think this has to deal more with the
I'm
ordinance.
speaking on behalf of what they told me, so we can discuss whatever. The parking enforcement, parking fines, it just wasn't well received.
On the same token, though, the grocery store is not gonna allow people not shopping to park in their parking lot all day.
No, I get it.
They have the ability to tow.
And there's plenty of signs that do that, and we've had issues with that, not just there, but other businesses, they're using my lot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a private lot, nothing to do about it, So it works both ways.
We're not looking for
Yeah.
a motion to approve this tonight, more of a recommendation to go forward if you want to work on another meeting to finalize it.
I'd make a motion to move forward and gather more information and maybe look at this closer.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All right, a motion by Ron and a second by Van to direct village staff to explore this further. Any discussion?
I'd say parking sticks and 2-hour parking.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
Hey,
Motion carries. Going around the room. Item 7, future agenda items and updates. Nicole?
I don't have anything really, just I do want to, it is Veterans Day, so I just want to thank all of our village people who have served. I think it's a really important day for them to be recognized. So thank you.
I've got nothing.
Okay, Ron? Myself, nothing. Van?
Oh.
Mike? Okay, we are adjourned at 8:17. Thank you, everybody.
Fingerprinting.
I'm gonna go in and.
It takes like a half hour, Nicole.
Andy!